Bong, 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 bong. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and you're very welcome to the Shout Out Show. Sponsor of our show today is Apache Pizza, Mullingar. Yes, give them a shout and they can deliver to you, no problem at all. We'd like to thank our good friend Tess Coniff, who introduced the show today, and she was on Croghan Hill with us on Sunday, and so hopefully we're going to get out to see Tess and have the crack with her and have a big chat, because she's a great woman to talk and fantastic history from Mullingar, and she's able to fill us in on the day that she bought her Honda 50. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're very welcome. We have our superstar special guest in the house, flown in the whole way from County Leitrim. And as well as that, we would like to start off our shout out show with all our friends who are looking in, and everyone's leaving messages. It's great to know that you are on board the bus. As you see, we're using our hashtag from Mullingar in Mullingar, and if anyone would like to get a t-shirt or a hoodie, we have some left, so just send us a private message and we can send you the details. Okay, a big shout out to Sandra Healy in Balbriggan, and this comes to it's her friend's birthday. It's Clodagh Brennan's happy birthday today, so a big shout out to you. And okay, place to check out. We always try and do a place to check out on the Shout Out Show, and today our place to check out, we shared it last week, is Tayto Park. Tayto Park is absolutely a magnificent spot and a great place to bring the family. Okay, Teresa Cox would like to say special wishes to her niece and grandchild, and that's Louise, and happy birthday to you. So have a great day, and thank you, Teresa. Oh, happy birthday to Millie. And Millie is in Dunleer, and she was on actually this seat last week singing away with us in Dunleer when we pulled up at Kay's house in Dunleer. So a happy birthday to you, Millie. You are a natural star. Let me see. Oh, a food shout out. Yes, our food shout out is very important, because when you get to 12 o'clock you go, food, yes, or a cup of tea or a coffee or whatever. But our food shout out comes to you today from Apache Pizza once again, and Daybreak Rustic, and they are in the industrial estate in Mullingar, and they have got some great food to take away. Always call in there, and actually you can get the petrol while you're in there as well. Okay, let's get back to all our birthdays. We have a load of birthday shout outs for all our friends. If you would like a shout out on your birthday, send us in a message and we will give you the shout out from Mullingar in Mullingar. So Mary Teresa Lauren, and she's in Rocher Bridge, Mullingar. Now I think she's from Rocher Bridge and living in Mullingar, or maybe she's living in Rocher Bridge and from Mullingar, I'm not too sure. Lee Ryan is 21 today. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Lee. 21, remember when you were 21? Happy birthday to you. So all these friends are having happy birthdays. So Owen De Bruyne is in Athlone, and happy birthday to you. And Catherine Duna, she's in Kilmallock, County Limerick. And Jenny Byrne is in Shalala, and she is in County Wicklow. So ladies and gentlemen, no further ado, we're going to turn on our cameras on our superstar today, ladies and gentlemen. Actor, writer, director, born, bred and reared in Leitrim, spokesman for Longford Tourism, has a book out at the moment that his mother says, I don't know if it's a good idea, but anyway, his name is Seamus O'Rourke. Put your hands together for the legend, Seamus O'Rourke. Hello sir, how's it going?
How are you, Ray?
Seamus, you're a horse of a man up there, and I tell you, I'm making you look big here.
I think I've just gone mad. What the heck?
Seamus, it's great to have you on board.
I thought it was coming to some professional outfit, but it's great. I'm great. Mighty.
Mighty. Tell me, you were born, bred and reared in Leitrim, is that right?
Yeah, a little place called Drumshangore beside Carrigallen, or Newtongore, and either.
We were up that direction not too long ago, and it's full of lakes and full of beauty, and Leitrim, I think, is the most beautiful place I've ever seen, and every time you go up there, whether you're going through different times of the year, it's just magnificent.
Well, it's like every county, we have our pluses. As my father used to say, it's better to be looking at it than trying to farm it, I suppose.
He was a reluctant farmer, I believe.
He was a reluctant farmer, yeah. He was. His glass was half empty most of the time, yeah, and then it spilt.
Tell me, your father says he was a farmer, but I mean, he was a go-to man, I believe, as well.
He was, yeah. It's something I was writing about in my book. He did everything around our part of the world, and he used to do bits of carpentry and wiring, and then he'd cut hair as well. So you'd be looking up the chapel, and you'd see all Jim Rourke's haircuts. They were all the same. He used the same template on all of us. I had one of them myself. And so, it was very easy for him to spot a wispy one, and he'd tell them to call over during the week. And
would he tell them en masse, or would he phone them?
No, there was no phone. No, he'd tell them after mass. Yeah,
right.
He just he was a big, tall man, and you get the little tap on your shoulder, that you're just gone off a little bit. So we did lots of visitors.
A little bit about yourself. You became a carpenter, as I say. You went and done the trade, and then became a carpenter, and then you've moved on to become a full-time actor.
A full-time actor, yeah. The buzzword at the minute, or was a few years ago, was a theatre maker. But
ooh, yeah. No theatres now.
We're not making much theatre at the moment. It was something I was always wanted to do. I left school when I was 15 because I hated people telling me stuff. And I wanted to find out for myself, so I quit school and I became a carpenter because it was the first job that I was offered. So and I was always interested in acting and was involved in the amateur scene. So once I got to a stage where I had the kids kind of half reared and everything sorted out, I decided I'd take a chance. And then I realised, so no one's going to give me a job, so unless I write something or do something myself, I'll not have any work. So I started to write and put stuff together and horse stuff into a van like this and head around the country and put it up in all sorts of places and perform it, and it's been great until now.
Until now, exactly. We're back in the van and horsing all the stuff around.
We've nothing to do. We have to stay in the van now. That's the problem.
That's my problem. I can't get out of the van.
And no one can come to see us unless we get married. So the two of us.
Get married in the van.
Do you want to ask me, or will I ask you?
So,
and I have tea in a glass.
Tea in a glass. You've ever in the bog? Are you a big bog man?
Oh yeah. Tea in a bottle.
Tea in a bottle.
I never put it into a glass. No.
Oh right. Well, that's what we do in this house. But and you don't take sugar. Did you take sugar before?
Oh, I did. Yeah. But I'm watching my diet now.
You're watching,
as you can see. It's not hard watched, like.
So right, you wrote a book, and your mother says not a great idea, or what did she say about it?
Yeah, well, she was living so long with my father. She's a bit of a pessimist as well. And I thought, because the book is about growing up, I gave it to my family.
Okay.
And they didn't get too excited. She said, because I printed it out just in on a page. More than one page, by the way. But she said it was great big print. So that was her only compliment. But she said someone else said it was very good. So that's more important, that someone else thought it was very good. She thinks, and she's right, everyone will be writing books this year because no one has anything to do other than sit at home and write. But books aren't that easily written, so I'm hoping that not everyone will have a book out.
Brilliant. And tell me, was your mother a mother of the house, or did she work as well, or what?
Oh, she was the mother of the house for a long time, and she took out to work then when we were kind of reared, and but she would have done more than any three men in her time, you know.
What did she do then when she reared you all and let you go?
What did she do herself?
Yeah. What business did she get into? Did she cut the hair?
No, she didn't. Well, she got into. She always worked in hotels, and she waitressed, and she cooked, and she also worked in sewing factories, and anything that required lots of sweat and hard work, she had no problem with that.
You refer to a lot of hard work and stress, and from the area that you live in. And what I read is like you find it hard to be very, as I say, you know, when you're writing something really important, but you end up sort of putting a bit of humour into it as well. Is that got to do with all the rocks and all the area that you lived in? Or, I know, is the land good up there?
The land?
Leitrim, yeah.
The land's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, there's some of the Protestants have good land, but there's not much good land up our way. No, I don't know how much of an influence that has on the people, but
Yeah.
we grew up in a house where there was always a sense of humour, and I suppose sometimes it's a way of sidestepping the tragedy and sorrow. We just try and look for the humour in stuff. I think without it we'd be all lost. So and I've tried on numerous occasions to try and write really serious stuff, and it always seems to develop into something with a bit of humour in it.
And tell me, is Mossy still around, or has he gone to ground, or what?
No, well, I took him out there last week because I kind of missed him. I haven't Mossy was. I'm very fond of Mossy, and I don't want to I don't want to abuse him, and so I only take him out when I have something fairly important to say.
And tell us, Mrs. Mahan, how's Mrs. Mahan?
Mrs. Mahan's missing.
Still?
Yeah, she's still missing. She hasn't been found. She went off with Peter the postman, and so it's not looking good. I think they maybe have gone off to play golf somewhere.
I was watching your video on Gay Byrne, The Late Late Show. I thought that was very funny.
Oh, that was when Leitrim went to play in Croke Park there recently. Yeah, well, we don't get many chances to celebrate Leitrim in Croke Park, so. But you'll notice I haven't been back on the Late Late Show, so it obviously didn't go that well.
Tell me, your football career. How'd your football? You went out with the thing of an injury, which is quite popular.
Yeah.
You're a horse of a man. What are you, 6 foot? Are you?
6'2", yeah.
6'2", right? So I mean, what position did you play on the field? I'm not into Gaelic football. Never was into soccer. I got into the music early. I couldn't take the abuse.
Yeah.
Tell me your story.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it was because I was big that maybe I was good. I don't know. I think I might have overachieved. I might have overachieved as a footballer. I'm not sure. I was mad into it though. It was the only thing in my life for a long time until I realised that I wasn't great at it. And it's amazing how you can change your mind when you fail often enough.
All right, getting serious if we can. Right, rural Ireland is in trouble. What do you think? Apart from Mullingar, I mean, we've. What I try to do with frommullingarinmullingar is promote what good and great we are, and I think that if we just went back to loving where we're from and promoting where we're from, that we might be able to bring some sort of business our way, or bring people to, I don't know.
I agree with you totally. I think one of the big things that's going to come out of the COVID is that maybe we can all work from home a little bit. So this need to head off to Dublin isn't maybe not as great, and that we might start to bring people back into the countryside and rejuvenate it. I think it's very much, as you say, up to the people themselves, rather than it's to start supporting our own, start to support our own shops rather than go off to the bigger towns, and I think that we have to find that ourselves. No one's going to come and make it better for us. We're big grown-ups now. We can come up with a way of getting people back, and get the social element of rural life up and bubbling again. And there's a lot of great people in the country, and I think that we will rise again. Yeah,
well, it's like you said in one of your plays, or when the shop has died, and then you says people got the cars and they drove to the next shop, so it's easier.
Yeah.
Do we get rid of the cars or what?
And well, sometimes no. It's sometimes you write about that's a little bit nostalgic, the whole shop thing, but people think it's my way of criticising the modern world and everything.
Yeah.
But all I was trying to do was highlight how wonderful it was, and to try and maybe get back there, as opposed to giving out about. It's the easiest thing in the world is to give out about things, and we want the government to make everything better, but it's up to us. It's
very much so. But tell me, this book is out now at the moment. Where can we get the book? Is there a shop around or what?
There's no shops left in Leitrim.
How are we going to get it? Now, I know you've got www.seamusorourke.com and /shop. Slap.
Yeah.
Did you bring a copy, no?
No, the book's not out until the 1st of October. And it's called Standing in Gaps, and anyone who grew up in rural Ireland will know what that means. But it's a very much a light-hearted look at rural life, and in fairness to people who have read it, like it, so I'm kind of excited about it coming out. And so I'm going to have it out it'll be available from my website, but also I hope to have it in as any shop that will take it, because I self-published as opposed to, so it's not going to be in every bookshop in the country, but we'll get it into as many bookshops as possible. It'll also be available on an audio version.
Brilliant.
And
I hate reading.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll soon have written more books than I've read, so that's it's not a great advertisement, is it, for books?
Anyway, it's going to be on that. You can press the button and you can get it that way, and that's a great way, as I say, of reading. You've done another lock of poems and recitations and good ones. What's the good ones?
Well, the good ones are good stories. I had this thing for years. People used to ask me about stories poems and recitations that I've written, and I wrote them to perform, and lots of people liked to perform them, and some of them I hadn't written down, so I decided to put them into a little book, and then when I had them in the little book, I decided I'd sell the little book, and it went great for me last year. So that was what prompted this year's book.
Right, now apart from the way if everything has had to change in the last few months, what were you at last year?
Well, last year I was touring a lot.
Right. On your own?
Mostly on my own, yeah. Myself and my good mate Philip McIntyre, and we'd head off. I was doing a lot of one-man shows, but I also did a couple of plays, playing the Abbey and different plays, or the Peacock. And actually, the thing was, I was mad busy, but that all came to a very sudden halt last March. And we don't really know what's going to happen in the next short term, but hopefully long term people will still want to go to see live theatre, as opposed to, or maybe we'll all have to sit in our vans at home and do live broadcasts, which would be very sad.
Anyway, there's nothing like, as I said, nothing like playing to an audience, at least a clapping or booing or whatever, or they're looking to be impressed to some shape or form. Theatre work is mainly what you do everywhere. Do you play in hotels, or is it mainly theatres like that you are doing?
Well,
and hope to be doing?
No, what I was doing was I was creating a show, and then anybody who wanted to, wherever they asked me to go, I've played in hotels, and I have my own setup, so we can go to a hotel or a small hall or a cowboy or whatever it is, and we'll do the show. And it's all about getting people in there, and the people I write about, I love to see them going to plays, because sometimes theatre is a bit of a bad name, is a bit hoity-toity, so I'd like to get rid of that stigma and get people out. And it's as much about the social connection as anything else.
Standing in gaps, does that mean standing in the gap in the way out of a show and standing in the middle of the door, or does it mean standing in the gap, or what does that mean to you?
Well, standing in the gap growing up for us was, if you're moving cattle, you always needed someone to stand in the gap in case to get away on you. Do you not know that? Or what sort of a townie are you?
No, I was there.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd want you standing in the gap.
In your farm?
Because you'd end up talking to the cows instead of whooshing them on. Up! Come up!
No, in ours, standing in the gap is the one that comes to my mind. Is always when people are leaving a venue, they'll walk up, and you'll do it yourself naturally. You'll stand in the doorway, and you'll stand in the doorway chatting, and there's people trying to get by. That's my standing in the gap.
Well, I wouldn't stand. See, you like that notoriety. I'd stand out of the gap there and let them by, because that's where they want to go to finish with the show. And it'd be time for you to put the gear into the van and get on with it. And not be hanging about those places.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is a legend. I'm delighted that he has joined us on the bus. I think we're friends for life now at this stage. We're going to slag each other non-stop, no matter where we are. So we've all our friends looking in here from everywhere in the place. We have Margaret Murtagh's looking in, Adrian Dunn is looking in, Mary McGow is looking in, Robert McDermott's looking in, and he's in London. Hello, Robert. And he's after getting his car done. What do you call that when you cover the car? Wrapped it. He's got his car wrapped in bricks.
Oh, pimped up.
Anyway, fair play to him. Joan Downey, how are you? She's in Clonus. Hello. Catherine Brown is looking in, and Bridget Nielsen is looking in from, someone there from Manor Hamilton as well. Let me ever check out who that is. Let me see. Mary O'Hagan, do you know her?
No.
Well, there you are. Look, guys, thanks for looking in. We're going to drink tea and make sandwiches. So good luck to you all. Bye.
Good luck.